It's a great reflection of our state.
Yeah.
We're so blessed to live in this great state. And I wish I had all of those members of the legislature that made courageous votes over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, and to say thank you to them, because that's how it happened. I want to go back and just share one. As we go through a campaign cycle, as we go through a campaign season, and we look back, and I tell people that the epicenter of this change in Texas started in 2003. There are a lot of folks who say, oh, Texas is a big old red state, it's a Republican state, and it's been a Republican state for a long time. No, sir. You know, people say, well, when George Bush got elected, it was a Republican state. No. That was in 1994. He took office in 95. There was still a Republican speaker, Republican lieutenant governor, Republican. Might have been a Democrat speaker, Democrat lieutenant governor. Okay, so Perry, when you got elected lieutenant governor, that's when it was Republican governor, Republican lieutenant. No, you still had to serve under the
Democratic
tyrant
there you go.
of a Democrat speaker that wouldn't let some very good parental notification bills through the House.
That's right.
Wouldn't let tort reform through the House. That's right. Still had a tyrant's grip on the process. It was in 2003 when finally there was a Republican governor, lieutenant governor, speaker, and House and Senate that were Republican controlled, and what happened? Well, what happened was we showed up. Bill, there was a $10 million budget deficit. Kind of just a little, here's a little present for you Republicans. They had overspent, and we had a technology bubble burst, and we got presented with a huge economic crisis. Tom Craddock, David Dewhurst, Rick Perry, and the leadership in the House and the Senate sat down and we said, look, we promised the people of this state that if they would elect us, we would run this state different than it had been ever run before. We would treat it like small businessmen and women have to treat their business every day. And if we have to make massive reductions in spending, that's what we will do rather than raise taxes. Easy to say, hard to do. I tell people, I said, governing, the theory of governing is not tough. Keep the taxes low, the regulatory climate balanced and fair and predictable, have a legal system that doesn't allow for suing, and have a skilled workforce, i.e. fund an accountable public school system. That's it. It's 4 things. It's easy.
Right.
You don't have to be a PhD in poli-sci from Harvard to understand this. It's simple, but it's hard to do. It takes courageous men and women. It takes individuals who are principled and disciplined and understand that they're going to be pressured from every direction to not make those cuts in spending. But we did that. We cut $10 billion out of that budget, and we balanced it without raising people's taxes.
All right.
And you know what? In that same session of the legislature, we passed the most sweeping tort reform in the nation. I mean, they're still writing about it. It was in the San Francisco Examiner last week.